Yo, what's up? It's your boy, the young Filipino, and we're coming at you with another video. And in this one, it is Memorial Day weekend, so you know your boy's gonna be doing some barbecuing. Now, I'm a little bit of a amateur to the grilling scene, so I'm gonna show you guys how I get down smoking a full packer brisket. I'm gonna show you from the beginning of it in the package to when I trim it, to when I season it, and to when we start smoking it until we eat it. Stay tuned. We got you on full packer brisket, cutting it, trimming it, seasoning it, smoking it, and eating it. Let's go. Alright guys, we're about to get into the trimming process of this brisket video. As you can see here, we have a 15.67 pound brisket, and we are going to start trimming this bad boy up. First things first, you're going to want to make sure you have a very sharp knife, and when you cut the cryovac open, I like to do it on the decal so that you won't mess up any of the meat. Now when attempting to take the meat out of the packaging, you're going to want to be pretty careful. You're going to want to try to keep all those juices inside of the bag. You don't want any spillage. And what I like to do is I'll put some paper towels underneath the packaging to where it'll catch anything that falls off of the meat or falls out of the packaging. Now once you get your big old brisket out that package, what I like to do is I'll set it on some of them paper towel things, and I'll also grab some extra paper towels and start patting down that other side that's not laying down on those paper towels, because you're going to want to get all those juices sopped up. Once you get those juices out of the way, it'll be a lot easier for you to trim up this brisket, and that'll ensure you not to have your knife slip and cut yourself. So to start this trim, we're going to start on this meat side. If you see all those white pieces all over the meat side, that's fat and silver skin. If this is your first brisket, you can go as aggressive or as gentle as you want on this trim. You can cut all that fat out, or you can leave it all on. Depends on how you want to do it. I would experiment both ways in being aggressive in your trim and then also being very gentle with your trimming. For me, I like to just keep it very simple. I'll try to take as much of it off as I can, but when it gets too difficult in some areas, I'll just say the heck with it and leave it all on. So after this fat and the silver skin, the next piece that I'll work on is this really big hard piece of fat called the decal. If you leave this in during your smoke, it will not have enough time to render out and break down all the collagen and turn it into gelatin. So I would highly suggest you to remove this piece. And if you do take out some of the meat with it, it's okay, but try to be as careful as possible and only cutting out the fat and not cutting out the meat. For me, I don't really mind if I do cut into some of the meat, because what I'll do is I will go back and cut that meat off of the fat, and I'll save that because I will grind that into ground beef later with other trimmings that I save. Getting this bad boy flipped over onto the fat cap side, we will continue to knock down some of this fat. We will also be flipping this over and showing you that one side of this flat is a lot taller than the other side of the flat, and you're going to want to trim this to where you have a very good evenness on both sides. And a lot of pit masters will tell you that on this fat cap side, on the flat, you're going to want to keep about a 1/4 inch of fat. That seems to be the sweet spot to fat to meat ratio for when it renders out. And you're going to see me here try to cut a piece of this off to see, number one, how much fat is on this fat cap side, and also it's so thin that it will dry out during the cook process, during the smoking process. So it's best just to knock that off. I will save it. I will process it later to make it a ground beef. So the aggressive trimming that I will do on this, it's okay. It won't go to waste. I will save it. I will grind it up later at a different point in time for ground beef. So for the rest of this trim, I'm just gonna do a nice little time lapse. I won't bore you guys or take up too much of your time with me trimming it. I'll just play it as quick as possible, and as soon as I get done trimming it, I'll show you guys what it looks like, and we'll get it onto the smoker ASAP. Let's go. So here we have our final product on the trim. You can go more aggressive on this, like I said before. You can go more gentle on this, but this is what we got for this brisket. Every brisket is going to be very unique to its own cut, how the butcher does it already, and what you have to problem solve about it. This one had a very big fat pocket in it, had a very big decal in it, so we went pretty aggressive on the trim. On this meat side, we didn't do too much of that silver skin or fat, but you can see a very big deep pocket that I cut out, and there is still a lot of fat in there that's going to need to render out. And yeah, so that's going to be our brisket for this smoke. Let's go.
All right, now that we have the meat trimmed up, we are going to put a binder on it, and we're going to season it. We're going to be using some Worcestershire sauce as a binder. I'm going to first do the underside. I'm going to put the meat side on this pan. I'm going to flip it so the fat cap is up, and I'm going to season the fat cap, throw it in the fridge, and I'm going to let that dry brine for a good 6 or 7 hours. I'm not going to start this real early in the morning. I'm actually going to start this tonight. I'm gonna let it do an overnight smoke, and in the morning we'll start checking after it. I'm gonna flip this thing over, throw some binder on it, hit it with some Lrky seasoning salt, Matt Pittman's Meat Church's Holy Cow. So we're gonna be using these two seasonings on this brisket, and we're gonna get after it. Let's go.
Already seasoned up this brisket, and I'll give you guys a quick rundown on what we seasoned it with. We did use a binder of some Lea & Perrins Worcestershire sauce. We hit it with the coating of, we used some Lrky seasoned salt, and then we hit it with a little bit of Matt Pittman's Meat Church Holy Cow. There we go, some of that Holy Cow. So we seasoned the underside, we used a little bit of a binder, and now we have it all seasoned up. This is gonna go into the fridge. So this is gonna go into the fridge. It's gonna marinate, it's gonna dry brine. We're not gonna do an overnight 12-hour whatever. We're just gonna put this in the fridge until it's tonight when I'm ready to throw it on the smoker. We're gonna be doing an overnight smoke. We're gonna let this thing chill probably 170, 180 throughout the night. We'll check it probably 6 in the morning when I get up to go to the gym. We're gonna go to the gym. We'll probably spritz it down and see how the bark is looking. I'll give you guys updates throughout the smoke, and then hopefully we'll get this thing done and ready about 3, 4 o'clock tomorrow. We'll see what it does. Let's go. Yo, what's up everybody? It is just around 11 o'clock p.m. I almost forgot to put the brisket on the smoker. As you can see the time right there. Just right after 11 o'clock. I was laying down, going through my emails, and I saw an email from Traeger, and I was looking at some pellets, and I was like, oh shoot, forgot to put the brisket on the freaking smoker. So we got the brisket out. Here it is. This is what we're looking like right now. And we also have our temperature heating up. See if we can get that in focus. There we go. We're sitting at 60 degrees. You can see some smoke coming out of the Traeger. Now, I'm not gonna let this thing get up to full temperature. I set it at 170. I'm just gonna immediately throw it in there. I want a lot of that dirty smoke just to hit this cold brisket. I'm gonna, like I said before, I'm gonna be running this overnight. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get this thing in there because I'm going to bed and I'm gonna worry about this first thing in the morning when I get up, before I go to the gym, check it out, and then I'll be checking it when I get back and every so often. I'm not even gonna throw a temperature probe in it yet. I won't even worry about that until in the morning. So I'm gonna show you guys me throwing this in here, and then I'll catch you guys in the morning. Look at all that dirty smoke, boy. Talk about dirty smoke. Boom, just like that. And there's the brisket in the smoker. We're gonna close this thing up, let it get to temp. We ain't gonna worry about this until the morning. See you in a few hours. Let's go. Yo, what's up guys? It is currently 7:18 in the morning and we messed up last night. We didn't prepare right for this smoke, unfortunately. And let me tell you what happened. We ran out of pellets throughout the night. So I don't know when the Traeger reached to a point where it would stop feeding the pellets through the auger into the firebox. But I'll show you what the meat's looking like right now. I just filled it back up full of pellets, cranked the temperature up to 250. It's 7 in the morning and I really wanted this brisket to be done mid-afternoon, late afternoon, and it may not be done until tonight, which kind of blows. But let me show you guys exactly what our meat's looking like. We do got, you know, some pretty good color on it. It's not looking too bad, but I really wanted this meat to be a lot further along than it is. There's literally like no bark on it. It's definitely not going to be a deep dark bark. I didn't season it heavily. We do have a little bit of mahogany color going on, a little bit, but yeah, we're really trying to get this thing going. I'm about to go ahead to the gym for about an hour and a half. I'm gonna come back and start checking things out as soon as I get back. But yeah, we'll see how this turns out. I'm hoping for the best. It's only a little bump in the road, and the only bump that it is on timing. For anybody who's ever cooked a brisket takes time, and every cut of meat is different, and this was like a 16.5 pound brisket, so I'm already knowing it's gonna take at least 12 hours. In the past I've cooked about 13, 14 pound briskets, even a 12 pound brisket, and those take their time, you know, and hopefully bumping the temperature up to 250. I usually cook them around 225. With the last one I did was at 170 throughout the night, and I had enough pellets, so I think because it was so cold last night that it just took that extra amount of pellets to keep the temperature up. But we're sitting in a full hopper full of pellets, and I gotta go run to the gym, work out this chest day. You already know what it is, and I'm gonna come back to you once I come back from the gym and show you what our progress is looking like on the meat. Let's go. Yo, what's up everybody? Just tapping in real quick, just got back from the gym. We are sitting right here right before 10 o'clock. It's 9:54. Let me see if I can show you on my watch. I have not checked this brisket since I threw more pellets in this morning, right around 7:30ish. So we are going to check it. I did throw a thermometer in it before I left. We are sitting here at 154. I got the alarm set at 165. I'm gonna see how it looks at 160. And maybe take it to 165, maybe even 170. It just depends on how we're looking. So I'm gonna open this up. I left a pretty big fat cap on it, so I don't think it's gonna be any dried out at all, but I do have a little bit of spritz in here. This is just apple cider vinegar with a little bit of cranberry apple juice mixed up. So if it's looking a little dry, we'll definitely spritz it, but let's take a quick look. Let's go. And this is how we are looking right now. Not too bad. I don't think it's gonna develop too great of a bark, but we are looking pretty good. The fat is still, man, it's really tough still. Shit. It's really tough still. But we are only sitting at 154. I think I am gonna spritz it a little bit just to create a little bit more moisture in here. So I'll spritz it down just a bit. I do want there to be some nice moisture in here. And when you spritz it and have more moisture, the smoke sticks a lot more to the moisture. So we're just gonna go in and spritz it just a bit. Keep everything nice and moist. Hit it with that spritz, you know what I mean? It is developing a nice color. The fat is rendering out pretty nicely, although it is still pretty tough right now. This was a 16-pound cut. You can see it's getting a little wiggle to it. Fat's still pretty tough in there. Tastes really good though. Tastes really good. So we're gonna close this up and let it keep smoking away. We're sitting at 250, and we'll check out how the hopper's looking full of. Oh yeah, we still got plenty of pellets in there. So we're just gonna keep letting this thing do what it's gonna do. Let that meat get tender. Once it hits that 160, 165, I'm gonna wrap it in butcher paper. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys my technique on brisket. Even though this brisket didn't go exactly the way I wanted it to, I still want to show you guys when you have problems, when things occur, that it's not the end of the world. It may not be 100% the best brisket ever. It's still going to be delicious. It's still going to be fire. It's still going to be tender. It's still going to have a nice smoke ring, and we're going to eat the heck out of it. So even when things don't go your way, when things happen, when there's problems, you just have to become a problem solver and figure out what the best solution is for it. And we're back here, we're smoking it, we're getting it going, and it's gonna be fire. So I'll check back in with you guys once it hits about 160, 165. Let's go. All right, so we're currently sitting at right before 12 o'clock. It's 11:58 right now, and the temperature on the brisket, we're sitting at 162. But that's what we're looking like right now. So I'm gonna pull it off right now. I'm gonna wrap it up and throw it back in. I'm gonna wrap it in butcher paper. And once we get it wrapped up, I'm gonna throw it back on the smoker, and then I'm gonna crank the heat up to like 275, 280, maybe even 300, just to continue this thing to cook. And then I'll get back at you as soon as it gets about 205, 200 to 205 internal. I'm gonna throw it in the cooler, let it rest, and then we're slicing into this thing. We're getting that much closer to having that barbecue smoked brisket, baby. Let's go. All right, I got you guys inside. The brisket is sitting right here. We're looking oh so tasty. We're about to get on to the next step of wrapping it. We got the butcher paper lying down. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spritz this with the spritz that I was using outside. I'm gonna throw a little bit of beef tallow on top, wrap it up, throw it back on the smoker. Ooh. One more piece of wrap.
let's get this bad boy back on the smoker. Let's go. All right, so I just realized I messed up again. Another thing that I didn't do. I told you guys I was gonna put the beef tallow on the brisket before I threw it into the smoker and wrapped it in. Your boy forgot to add the beef tallow. So, like I said before, not every cook is gonna go your way. It's all about problem solving. And this isn't really a problem, it's just a mistake on my end. And we're still gonna have an enjoyable brisket, but I just forgot to add some beef tallow to it, so my bad, guys. We are sitting at 436 right now. I just temped the brisket 102 internal. So I have the ThermalWorks dot set at 203. It's hit 201 right now. I opened it up already to check out the brisket. I took my Thermapen and it's just going through the point like butter, you know what I mean? I'll show you right now. You can see where I've poked it already, and look, when it goes in, there's no resistance at all. It just goes in like butter. Now, understand that I did wrap this a lot of times, but I poked it into the point. It's butter, and look at all that rendered fat. Like I said, boom, that's butter. That's butter. We sitting at 203 in there, so we're pulling it right now. I have a cooler here. I put some towels down in there, and I'm just gonna take this whole tray here, set it in there, and I'm gonna put one towel on top just to insulate all that heat. And we're done. I'm gonna pull this. I'll pull this out. Be careful when doing this, because this right here is just as hot as this meat is. So when you pull this bad boy out, just know that that thing right there, that thing is hot. That thing is hot ski. Throw it inside the cooler, and then it's gonna rest for at least 1 hour. As soon as that hour's up, I'm gonna pull it and we're gonna slice into it. You already know how we're getting down. It's your boy, the Young Filipino, aka Grill Master Young Filipino, Pit Master Young Filipino, and that's brisket. I'm gonna unwrap this after that hour. We're gonna slice it up in there. I'm gonna show you guys exactly how we get down, how juicy, how moist, that smoke ring. We're gonna show you all of it. Stay tuned, we're almost there. We're almost done with this final process. This is the last step, letting this meat rest. Let's go. Moment of truth. We are getting into this brisket. It's about 6 o'clock. It's been resting for about almost an hour and a half. So we're getting into this brisket right now, baby. Let's go. We got that brisket, baby, with a pretty good bark on that mofo. We'll slice into it. Oh, look at that jiggle, baby. That jiggle. Look at that jiggle, baby. Look at that jiggle. Let's see, cut this end off real quick so we can see inside of it. Y'all see the smoke ring on there? We got a beautiful smoke ring on that bad boy. I don't have the light hooked up right now, but I'll show you guys. Hold on. Look at that smoke ring. Look at that juice pouring out. Come on, man. Don't mess with me. Look, I'm telling y'all, even if your smoke doesn't go exactly as planned, all you gotta do is become a little bit of a problem solver. And look, this thing, beautiful smoke ring, juicy. I know it's gonna taste delicious, so it is what it is. We're gonna cut this. I'll show you, I'll cut one more slice just to show you how tender and floppy that flat is. Give me 1 second. Come on, don't mess with me. Don't mess with my smoke game. Don't mess with my barbecue game, bro. Bro, straight tender. Tender. Come on now. Oh, you ain't messing with me, boy. Let's go. Ooh, this thing is piping hot and tender. Let's go. Ooh-wee. Hey, and that's it, man. This is the Young Filipino. We're coming at you with another video. This was how to barbecue a brisket on your Traeger. And basically the same process works on any smoker. If you got a Weber grill, a Weber kettle, if you got a Big Green Egg, whatever you got, I just have a pellet smoker at the house. You feel me? Makes it really easy, super simple. And even when things happen, some mistakes could occur. When things don't always go your way, you can still have a pretty fire brisket. Now that's what it is. It's your boy, the Young Filipino, and I'll see you on the next one. Let's go. No, I'm still eating that, bro. I don't even care if it fell on the floor. I'm still eating it. God dang it.